Hello, everyone. My guest today is Sagar Kaul. He's the co-founder of Meta. Before starting Meta, Sagar worked as former news editor for Newzulu International, a crowdsourced newswire agency based in Paris. Prior to joining that, he worked with the London-based media agency Barcroft Media as a staff photographer in their editorial department. Again, now building Metafact.org to detect misinformation in real time. Sagar, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes.
All right, deepfakes. How are you going to prevent video deepfakes?
So with deepfakes, it's actually much easier than detecting misinformation that comes in the form of text and images to some extent, because the deepfakes, the algorithm is such that you are able to detect it. It's just that the build time of the technology is time consuming, and it will take financial resources to develop that. But then, if you ask me, the honest reply would be it's much easier than making detection tools for our normal day-to-day text services as compared to the deepfake. That's the video part of it.
So tell me more again about kind of how you're building this, right, and what you're building. What is the company? A pure play SaaS company?
Sorry?
Is the company a pure play SaaS company?
Yes, it's a SaaS company.
Okay.
SaaS company. Yeah.
Yeah, so help me understand kind of who you're selling to, right? On average, what are they paying per month? And are these enterprises, SMBs, or mid-market?
So our primary target market is, media agencies, that is newspapers, television, any media agency that dribbles with news. The idea is to give them these services so that we are able to create a knowledge base out of that, and then provide those services at a higher price to businesses and enterprises. So that's the business model that we have applied for Metafact. Keeping in mind, the idea was simple. Taking an example of Kaspersky, when it launched its antivirus, the initial idea was to provide free access to its customer base so that they understand what sort of malicious, viruses were out there. And then once they had that knowledge base up, that's wherein, they develop the tools to counter those and then sell it at a premium price. So that's what we are actually doing. And the other understanding is that at times, maybe we are not able to detect misinformation that is online because it can be also offline. And that's also where the journalist part of, our services come into hand. And that's the reason we are looking at journalists as a primary customer. But then money-making customers are going to be enterprises.
And your current customers, when you look at on average what they're paying per month, what's the number?
So as of now, we just have beta customers. So we are not charging them anything because we are still testing the tool.
So you're pre-revenue?
Yes.
Okay. How many beta users do you have?
As of now, we have 5.
Okay, so 5 beta users. And how did you find them?
So it was during the test phase. So when the idea came to us and when we started working on the idea, that's wherein we reached out to these different media houses, both online, offline.
How did you reach out to them, though? Was it an email, a phone call? You walk up to their office door and knock?
So somewhere from my own network, because I worked I worked with newswire agencies and all, so I did have my own network. And that's how I established. So initial was, cold emails to them, reconnecting and everything. And the ones who showed interest, that's how, later on we just followed up with them.
So when did you start this? When was the company founded?
The company was founded in 2017.
Okay. So what have you, how have you been, you're pre-revenue, right? So how have you been paying yourself for the past 2 years?
We are sort of still bootstrapped, but then we had applied for this one program in South Korea through Hanyang University. And this was for early entrepreneurs who were trying to solve a pressing issue. And we, pitched Metafact out there and we won the first prize. So we got a funding of $20,000 that was equity free, $20,000. That was the first funding that we got. After that, in mid-2018, we applied for an accelerator program that was based out of Ireland through NDRC. It's a collaboration between the Irish government and Enterprise Ireland. And again, we were one of the first outside startups to be selected for that program and got a funding of 30,000 euros. So far, this is the funding that we have raised, and the rest of the money was friends and family.
So how much total have you raised to date, all in?
It's around about just between 60 to 70,000.
Okay, so and what's your team size look like today? How many people? Just you?
We have a team of 6.
So how have you paid 6 people over the past 2 years on just $70,000?
one of the main factors being that in India, you still do have people, so the prices for hiring a tech guy in India is much cheaper than hiring a tech guy from outside.
What does it cost there to get a junior engineer?
In dollars for a month, if the person is giving me, let's say, 16 hours a week, I'll be paying him somewhere between $400 to $600 for a month.
Okay, so for a month, that's 15 hours a week, right? So that's a total of 60 hours in a month. You're spending $400 to $600.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, this is like $4 or $5 an hour when you divide it out.
Almost, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But then again, I mean,
so what's your? I mean, as you're obviously you're investing in growth, right? As you build up towards your beta launch and then eventually your paid launch. What are you burning per month right now in terms of total capital?
So right now in dollars, it would be somewhere around about $800 to $1,000. So we work on Watson platform. So we don't have to pay anything for the platform that we are using because we are getting credits from them. We are the G partners for them. So that's where we are saving a lot of money actually, because the platform is available to us almost for free and we can use their services whichever we want.
So Sagar, when do you turn on the beautiful, magical moment, pay me now paywall?
So our estimated idea is that by end of September, we should be in that position. By end of July, we will be sending out the first updated beta to our customers, the ones who are testing it. And once we are happy with the progress of it, that's when we come out and we'll be starting to sell it.
What gives you a confidence that you're going to be able to build this? I mean, do you have a technical background? Are you a developer?
No. So my background is not in that. I mean, though I did my software engineering long back, but then that was not something that I still kept updated with. But then my experience comes from the user-generated content. So 8 years of previous 8 years has been in that space for me. So I understand how the content is generated, what sort of a content is out there. So the initial idea for us with Metafact was to have some sort of a validation tool that will just validate the user-generated content so that we are sure that if the person is sending in a video or a photograph, the newswire agencies are confident that this has come from the same person. But then it was during the same time that we got in touch with IBM Watson. We started using their platform and we saw the use of AI in this and how much more we can do with that. So what we basically are trying to do right now, which not many others are doing in this field, at least in India, is we are not just looking at the content that has been generated in misinformation space, but also the comments that are coming. So we are looking for hate speech.
Sagar, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I mean, look, I think people, when people look at this business, they're going to go, okay, it's a technical business. Yes or no, do we believe that this is something Sagar can build? And if you don't have a technical background, they're going to say, okay, does he have a technical co-founder? Right? Like, again, why should people believe that you're going to be able to build this? What's the tech muscle inside your company?
We do have the tech co-founder. So yeah, I mean, my experience comes from a different space, but then we do have a tech co-founder in this because we do understand the importance of that.
Did you guys split it 50-50 or how did you have the equity conversation?
The equity conversation, since the initial fund money came from the other co-founder, so he has more equity. But then the split is almost, we can say, 80-20. But then his equity will be dissolvable once we raise funding and all.
So he has 80 right now and you have 20?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Very good. So he's basically said, okay, if you help build this thing and we go raise additional capital, then I'll give you more. You'll go up to 30, I'll go down to 65, and we'll give an investor 5%.
Exactly.
Very cool. All right, Sagar, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
I do have photography books, but not business books.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Mark. I mean, Facebook. It is quite interesting, though. Yeah.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
We are not using online tools because we were using Google Docs, but then somehow we are not comfortable with that. So most of the conversation happens offline for us.
What do you mean you're not comfortable with Google Docs?
It's just that one of the accounts was hacked in between while we were using Google services. So it's just that, we don't trust it that much as of now. since, we are at a very critical phase of our
We have a lot of problems, by the way, if a pre-revenue 6-employee, bootstrapped company does not trust Google.
I know how it's done.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
4, 5.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Married with 3 kids.
3 kids. And how old are you?
40.
Last
Last
question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
How important coding would be.
Guys, they are building a Metafact.org to help detect deepfakes. His technical co-founder owns 80%. He owns 20%. They are pre-revenue today, testing with 5 news outlets as beta customers. Will see if the paywall works when they turn it on in a few months. Sagar, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you so much, Matthew.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it, and the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.